Hi, hello, vanakkam, and welcome back to yet another episode on Little Law YouTube channel. So today in this video we are going to see about what is a Kubernetes pod in brief, and we will see how does the Kubernetes pod communicate with each other, which is communicating easily with the other pods inside their network. So we will see in detail how do they communicate. So firstly, we will see what is a Kubernetes pod. So a Kubernetes pod is the smallest deployable unit in Kubernetes. So the containers within a pod, they share the same network namespace, which enables them to communicate easily. And now we will see what are all the possible ways they communicate. So, in the context of Kubernetes, the pods share the network namespace by default, which means they can communicate with each other using localhost and ports, just like processes on the same host machine. So, when multiple containers are deployed within the same pod, they also share the network namespace. So now we will see the five topics on how does this sharing the namespace works and how do they enable the pod to pod communication. So when it comes to sharing the networking stack between the pods in the Kubernetes, the pods within the same Kubernetes cluster can communicate with each other via localhost as if they were on the same physical machine. This is because they share the same networking stack. And now let's move on to the second part, which is the IP address allocation. So the second topic is IP address allocation. So in Kubernetes, each pod is assigned a unique IP address within the cluster, and containers within the pod can communicate using this IP address and designated ports. This facilitates direct communication between containers within the same pod, enabling seamless interaction within the Kubernetes environment. And now we will move to the third section of this video. The fourth and the critical part when it comes to the Kubernetes pods communication, the fourth one is the service discovery. So Kubernetes pod provides a service discovery mechanism that allows the pods to find each other dynamically using DNS. So what does this mean? So this means that even though the pod's IP addresses might change due to scaling or for any other reasons, in case if you were destroying a pod and recreating it, or you are scaling up so that you have initially 5 pods and it turns into 10 or 20. So in those, even in those scenarios, the services within the cluster can still reliably communicate with each other using their DNS names. And that's what I'm saying. So service discovery is a mechanism that allows pods to find each other dynamically. It's not static, it's dynamic using DNS. So whatever it happens, like the scaling or the destroying and recreating, so whatever happens, the service discovery mechanism allows them to reliably communicate with each other using their DNS names. So now we will move on to the next part, which is the network policies. The fifth and the last part of Kubernetes is the network policies. Kubernetes offers network policies to control traffic between the pods. So what does this policy mean? So these policies which offers the traffic between, or which offers the control between connecting the pods, they are used to define the rules for allowing or denying communication between pods based on various criteria such as the pod labels, their namespaces, or IP ranges. So, in the previous one, we discussed about the communication or to dynamically connect. But when it comes to the network policies, we can define the rules where we can allow the communication or we can deny the communication, and also we can allow the communication between pods based on various criterias. So we can set the conditions on various criterias such as their pod labels, their namespaces, or the IP ranges. So by leveraging shared network namespaces, Kubernetes ensures that pods can communicate efficiently and securely within the cluster environment, enabling the construction of complex distributed applications. So with that, I come to an end. We will discuss about another interesting topic on containers or Kubernetes in our upcoming video. So until then, it's bye bye from Vasan Shanmugam and Little's Law.